Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Ke nna Thatoo.k. Welcome to another sit down video. I hope that you are going to like, to comment and subscribe. Please don't forget to share my video on your socials. It really helps with traction and just getting new subscribers. We are officially on our road to 200 subscribers, guys. Kopale subscribing, banana. Kopale subscribing. Yes guys, kopala subscribing. On that note, we have a visitor here today, so please don't mind her because I am trying to not pop my pimples. I don't want to get dark spots. Okay guys, let's get straight into the video. So I matriculated in 2021. I went to a high school in Poch. I'll insert a picture of myself in school uniform, and I genuinely had a good time. I went to the same high school from grade 8 all the way through to Matric. And initially I didn't want to become a doctor, guys. Growing up I just wanted to become a chef and really just cook for a living, work in a hotel, make a lot of money. And then when I got to high school, I was intrigued by how pilots just do their thing. So in grade 8 and 9 I wanted to become a pilot, and I was part of this after school program that took us to, I don't remember where it is. So yes, okay, so I got disturbed by my friend, but I was part of this after school program called the Safe Academy, and they took us to Joburg. I think it was KMA or something along those lines, where we went into the aircrafts, and like it was very fun. And I was like, this is what I want. This is what I want. But I was still on the fence. And then in grade 9, I was convinced that I wanted to go into accounting until I wrote the June exam and I failed that June exam. EMS, guys, like small basics, credits, 7 leisure, type accounting, and I was like, this is not for me. So that's when I just left the accounting idea. And when we had to choose our subjects, I chose pure maths, physics, and life sciences with business. And I took tourism as an extra subject. I also wanted to take economics as an extra subject, but I figured since I'm not going down that route, I'll just stick to tourism because I love those fields. And I also wanted to replace my physics marks just in case. Fast forward to grade 10, June, I sucked at math. I really sucked at math, guys, to a point where I used to sit in the front row. We were placed according to our marks at some point, and I was literally on the first seat in the front row because my marks were that bad. So initially I was just passing with like Boma 50, and then at some point I was on the fence, and I remember being given a side eye, guys, and didn't, if you're watching this, Didi literally carried me through grade 10 math because I was struggling. I was fighting for my life. So to make things worse, I also failed some of my physics tests in term 3, I think. And I remember Mrs., I'm not going to say her name, but Mrs. S, name, she believed in me so much. But at some point they had to ask me if I want to drop physics or not, like if I'm genuinely struggling or if it's just if I'm being lazy. But at that point I thought I was genuinely just struggling, and I also didn't like school, so I wasn't really bothered by those marks in grade 10. And for all my life I didn't have to like work hard to get good marks, I just happened to study the right things and I would get distinctions in grade 8 and 9. So that was a shock to my system. And then fast forward to end of grade 10, I had 60s for, I think I had a 50 for math and a 60 for physics. And I wasn't bothered because grade 10 doesn't count. That's what we're told. Then we got to grade 11. Oh, before I move on, I also had 3 physics teachers in grade 10. So that also made me feel like, the problem is not me, the problem is the teacher, or the problem is that teacher, or I'm just not getting it. This one speaks fast, this one speaks slow. I had excuses, guys. And then grade 11 came, and my math teacher in grade 11 was not doing it for me, because I just felt like he was too smart. Like, he wasn't for me, he wasn't explaining the work to me like I'm a 5-year-old, like, and because I didn't have a solid grade 10 foundation, Bendy, Goa, I was going through it all, but I wasn't that moved, because like I was starting to eliminate careers, and I knew that it was medicine for me. I just knew that it was medicine. And I think something that solidified it is that in 2019, in grade 10, I lost my granddad. And on the day when he passed, he was so restless. There were signs, but I just didn't get it. And I just wish on some days that I had the knowledge to just help him and make his send-off more bearable. So it was just like, okay, it's medicine. Like, I need to know what happened to him, and I need to prevent it from happening to another loved one. Then I started speaking to my parents. I was like, I think I want to be a doctor, guys. And my parents hopped on that idea, and they never let it go. Sanalom, they never let go of that idea of me becoming a doctor. So that was it. Like, my parents were convinced their daughter is going to become a doctor one day. So I also believed it. I started believing it. And I remember in grade 11, we had this other career project. I don't remember if it was grade 10 or 11. And we had to do research, interview people in that field. And Sana, I was so convinced that I wouldn't be able to make it, that I interviewed someone else in the health field, and I didn't interview a doctor, because I was told that, you won't be able to go into medicine if your average is not above 87 or 94, and if you're failing math and you don't meet the minimum requirements. And at that time, my grade 10 marks were not meeting the minimum requirements. So at some point, I didn't believe that I would make it. And then lockdown happened, and we had to go home and have self-directed learning. So when I was at home, it was literally me, my Rain SIM card, and my Nokia. I forgot the name of the phone, but that's all I had. And so at some point, I decided to just, I just felt like I needed academic validation, and I started working hard. I kept up with all my math lectures, classes, lessons on the Google Drive, and I caught up with all my physics. I was writing the tests with Benji. Like, if Benji's watching this, if Tsofat was watching this, she will know that I literally, like, we were on it. We were doing the work, and sometimes we fell off, but like there were days where I just worked, guys. Like, I don't want to lie, I want to give myself that credit. I worked hard during lockdown. I deserved those marks. And then we went back after like June or July, and then we were given our before lockdown math marks. And I was shocked to know that I had passed, and I think I was part of the people who passed in the test, and the other people didn't do well. So I was just like, I got a 60 or 70. I'm happy. From someone who came from 50s and 40s in grade 10, I was impressed. Then time went on, and obviously now I built my own foundation. I literally had to explain the work to myself. I discovered Kevin Math Science. I discovered people on YouTube who were teaching and showing steps on how to do what. And then came September, I think, and we wrote tests, and I made it into the top 10. And if you know, you will know that I always missed the Ferdi's top 10 by less than 1%. And for the very first time in my life, I made it. And I think from that little push, like that academic validation where we had to stand up in the classes, I was like, this is what I want. I want to be this girl. So I worked hard. I actually worked smart. And then I always asked the teacher for help. Like, I did all the things that people always mentioned, like do your own homework, do past papers, whatever, fish paste. Then we wrote our grade 11 marks, grade 11 final exams. And then we found out that our SBA would count 60% and our exam marks would count 40%. So with that being said, it obviously meant that my math marks would be lower than my final exam marks. And I ended up getting 69% for math, grade 11 average, and 70 something for physics, or 80, I don't remember. I think it was a 70, 78, 79. Then everything else was good, 80s, 90s. Then I applied for med, guys. I applied everywhere. I applied everywhere for math, for medicine. I applied for law. I applied for nursing. And at Stellenbosch, nursing was my first option. And medicine was my second option. Then fast forward to Matric, I had a tutor. His name is Stefan in Bosch. I highly recommend Stefan. Stefan saved my grades. He saved my grades. So yeah, guys, like grade 12 math was fine. Started off with 70s, like 17, 71, 72. Picked up to 74, 77 in June. In the prelims, I think I got 78 or 79. And I was like, nah, I'm getting an 80 for my finals. Wrote my final exams. I had 7 distinctions, and my 8th one was supposed to be my math distinction, but I think I got 77%. And then I went for remarking, and it came back as 79%. So I didn't get my math distinction, but I did so well. I was so proud of myself. And then, yeah, that's how my academics went. In terms of the applications, I applied everywhere, and in June, the University of Free State said you need to send in your health checkup or something like that, and I submitted. They rejected me. UP, I couldn't even proceed because I got 69% for math, and you need 70 to qualify for medicine. So I didn't even apply for medicine at Pretoria, but I applied for the extended program. Wits, I was not accepted for my first choice, which was medicine, but I got in for genetics and something else, I think law. And then I obviously didn't get into Wits, but I got in for my second and my third choice. I got residence at Wits. I got in for everything I applied for at UP, you name them. But when it came to medicine, I literally only got provisional acceptance at Stellenbosch. And it was during our prelims, guys, and I cried. I remember running to my friend's room. Retabile was there, Tando was there, and Kamo was there. And I showed Makume. I was like, Makume, look. And I was so happy. I cried. Because I remember 2 weeks before that, I cried so hard thinking, I'm a failure, I won't make it. And that really pushed me to work harder in the prelims. I did every single Northwest paper, every single DBE paper. I literally even had like KZN papers, Mpumalanga papers, you name them. I was on it. I was convinced that I'm going into med school. And I think because of my grade 10 experiences and like certain teachers not necessarily seeing the vision, and that's what pushed me. So then, yeah, fast forward to December, I was placed into my residence in Stellenbosch, and we were put into a group chat, and I'm seeing, okay, people are chatting, everyone has provisional acceptance, but it sounds like we made it into med school. So I was very positive, and Stellenbosch was my first choice, was the first and only university I wanted to go to, like for certain. And I remember praying in like June and Jan of 2021, saying, God, I want to go to Stellenbosch. Please bless me with a single room. Please bless me with this placement. Please bless me with like this and this and that. And then Jan came, I think it was 19th of Jan, when our results were released. And then, yeah, guys, the results were released on a Thursday or a Friday. And I got like offers from UCT, UP, Wits, UJ, for all the other options except for medicine. And I was convinced that I will not accept these offers. I was so ready to go back to Matric and like rewrite my exams, my physics and my maths, you know. And then the weekend, Stellenbosch was like, they're not working during weekends, so we have to wait for the next Monday before we can know whether we are placed into medicine or not. There was a hold there. So we waited, we prayed, we fasted, we believed. And then I remember they said that they would give us our placements by, I think, 12 midday on Monday. And it was 11:50 when I got the email that you are accepted into Stellenbosch University for MBCHB. Pack your bags, come to Stellies, guys. And the rest has been history. I think everything that I've prayed for and believed for, and even more, I've received from this program. Yes, it's a new curriculum. Yes, there are pros, there are cons, but I think the good far outweigh the bad. And yeah, that's how I made it into med school. And on my way to Stellenbosch, I got a phone call from UKZN saying that we have reserved a space for you for medicine. Can you please come through? We'll help you look for a raise. You can come through anytime. Now, it was too late because I was on the bus to Cape Town, and I said, no, thank you, because this is what I prayed for. So guys, that's how I made it into med school. My journey was not easy in the beginning, nor was it easy in Matric, because I remember having to study for maths a month before the exam. Like, I had to sort of do like 3 past papers every week just to build my endurance and to also just build my confidence, because I was one of those people who would finish the exam 1 minute before the time, or not even finish at all. So just being able to build my stamina, being able to go to my teacher's office, Mrs. S, shout out to you, she knows this. She literally believed in me. She literally told me, you need to get this much to get an 80 for math. Can you do it? I think you can. You know, she actually believed in me. I could WhatsApp her anytime, send her like questions, and she would respond with VNs. She would allow me to go to her office to go ask her questions, come with my highlighted questions. And I think just having that kind of person believe in me is exactly what I needed. I'm going to insert a picture somewhere on the screen of us doing that McDreamy pose from Grey's Anatomy, just being like a Superman and believing that I'll be able to do it. So shout out, guys, to Mrs. S, and shout out to everyone that believed in me. But that's how I made it into med school. And on my next video, I will be sharing how I settled into med school. So the journey from my house to when my parents left race, and the financial constraints, the emotional toll that it had on me, like just having to say goodbye, moving more than 1,200 kilometers from home, etc. So that's it, guys. I don't want to make the video too long, but please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please don't forget to share this video with prospective med students, people in their grade 11, people in grade 10, people in Matric who feel like their math and physics marks are not good enough. Please share this with them. Please share my channel with them, because I will also be sharing how I studied in grade 11 and grade 10 and how I managed to improve my marks in grade 12. Bye, guys. See you on my next video. Ciao.
Spinning through identity, reveal another pretty little scheme. Save her mind, hold her hand, and don't believe a lie. You understand me. Walk her down the valley, pack a piece of heaven for the bottoms of her feet. Teach her how to jump and how to stretch when she reach, like the angels do, and you gon' make it through now. Tell about the healer, greater is the one within, and call him as the leader. Teach her how to hold a pretty hand up to the sky, and have a wait upon the giver, he'll deliver like a dealer. To take her higher.